how to replace your lock hold switch in your iPod Video / iPod Classic. I've got a pack of these opening tools, right? These are the metal ones. Sometimes they're called Sesamos. They're just thin and they're cheap. You can get a whole pack for whatever, a few bucks. So you're gonna need some of these. I've got Kapton's tape, heat tape for electronics. It's a good idea to pick up some of this. If you've got some painter's tape laying around, that works good to tape up the front when you're working on it so you don't scratch it. Otherwise, you don't need it. I've got a pouch with micro screwdrivers. So we're gonna get to it and start tearing this thing down. Alright, so there's different schools of thought when opening these. Like, they are kind of a bear, but they're really not that bad. Opening the videos is a lot easier. I mean, you can usually just use like one tool and just boop, and they just come open. These classics are a little bit more difficult. So now the one thing I'll say about these is they are thin, and they can be sharp. So be careful when you're using these, because sometimes you have to give a little bit of force and don't slip and cut yourself. You know, wear gloves or whatever, but examine these before you use them and know how you need to handle them. So if you're really good, you can be like a one tool kind of guy and you can get them up here in the corner and like
shuck them
like an oyster. But I'm not that good, so I use the multiple tool approach where I find the clips in the chassis, wedge these tools between the clips and the back plate and get multiple, wedge points and work the case open like that. Yeah, so you really want to start up in this corner, top right, get that one, and then work down here. Once you get the whole side, like, you're pretty much good to go. Just want to be careful, like, you can't just go and open it. So, like, switch to the other side and just free it up. It doesn't take much once you have one side. It's apart in your hands now. Don't take the two pieces apart. You're going to put it face down. And what you do is you lift the back plate and you just rotate it like this. Alright, so once you have it open like this, focus on the battery cable here, right? It goes down here and it plugs into this little clip here. It's brown, this right here. And so, contrary to what other people will tell you, this little brown clip pulls up towards my face and you can release the battery cable that way. But we're not going to do that, because people like come in here and they pry on that clip and they end up ripping this piece and a tiny little metal feet off the motherboard, and then you're screwed. You can resolder it on, but it's very tedious. It can be done, but we're going to avoid that. So the real way that you want to remove this battery cable is just to take your finger. That's how you want to do it. Like, you lift the back plate up to where you can get your finger underneath the ribbon cable and you just slowly lift up. Then you don't have to mess around with this little brown clip. It just pulls up on its own. Alright, now you can just open this like a book now. Your battery cable. Then you have the stock battery on top of the ribbon cables for your headphone jack and your hold switch. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove the stock battery here. So since it's stuck down on top of this ribbon cable right here, we just need to carefully, slowly pry it up and out of its little spot here. You can use a plastic tool or whatever you want. You can use alcohol. The adhesive is really bad, but I'm just going to work it
slowly but surely.
Come underneath and unstick this ribbon cable from the bottom of the battery if it's stuck on it. Okay, we're going to take the hard drive, we're going to fold it down. Peel it off slowly, we're going to fold it down towards us. Alright, next we need to undo this ribbon cable from this clip right here. So you can just take your fingernail and you can see I pulled this brown gate clip to the right. So I'll push it back down. I'll do it with the screwdriver. So you just gently on this brown one. this tab, just lift it up like that. It's not the black side. Don't get confused. It's not this piece right here, because if you pry on that, you're gonna pull up and rip the tiny little feet off the board, and you won't have volume in your ears. You can resolder that if you need to. If you're lucky, you can just press down on it and just heat up the piece just to reflow the solder if you're lucky. But again, it's this brown, the brown side, the left side here. Just pull that bad boy up, just click, and then just scoot the cable out to the left. Okay, now your iPod is in 2 pieces. So I'm gonna move this piece out of the way for now. Super easy. All you need to do to replace the headphone jack and hold switch is undo the little tiny screws. They are Phillips bit, a micro Phillips. This is there. That's what I have.
And I'll link this set down below too.
But there's one here. There's one hiding under this glue here if you have any glue from the battery. Okay, they're tiny, so keep track of them. And you can put them right in the back plate. Silver, and then it goes black here. And then there's one right here going down into the back plate. And then there's this black tape here. But all this is already loose, so it's ready to come off. That there, the hold switch, and the headphone jack has a little bit of adhesive under it, so you just gently pry that out. You know, of course, if yours is broken, you know, you don't need to be that careful, but I don't know. Be careful just for practice. Get a corner lifted, peel up this tape. Boom. Good to go. So you got that off, put that aside. So at this point, clean this up really good. So I'll be right back. You know, you can take off your bottom bezel if you want and get everything super clean. Of course, if you got a new back plate, it doesn't matter, you know, but I'm gonna reuse mine, so. All right, I'm happy with that.
Clean.
So we're gonna reinstall the headphone jack and hold switch. This is a new one. This is the thin version. Make sure you get the right one. So if you have a thin backplate, get the thin headphone jack. All right, get it to where everything is unfolded, nice and straight. I'm gonna stick it up in there. You can move the button like towards the middle, you know, to get it routed in the hole. And then there's like a little pin here, little stud, little plastic stud. It goes in a hole right there. Boom. And then you can fish the headphone jack up into its hole, you know, and pop that in, you know, for now. So we're gonna start again on the left. Now you can go ahead and take your old piece of tape, or if you have, you know, if you want to use new heat tape, or that's fine, and stick it down like on this little junction here.
Just reuse that.
So, okay, go back to your Phillips, and we're gonna start with the black. I like to put it on my tip first. Okay, silver was next. All right, that one's going straight up here. Don't lose them. All right, then this one's going up here. And the last one's going straight down over here. All right, so back with the two halves. Do any cleaning you want to do now. So we're just going to re-pop in this headphone jack hold switch. Get this reconnect. So just take the end of the ribbon cable, put a 90-degree bend in it, and you're going to put it back where it came from. So make sure this clip here is still open. You're just going to take your little bend and fish it back into that clip. Okay, even kind of push against it with a tool right here in the back of the clip. Then close the clip. Okay, now you're good. Your two pieces are back together. Okay, and then you can close back the iPod. All right, so the little clip should still be pulled up from when you pulled the battery cable out with your finger. You can see it's loose. That's what you want. If for some reason it's still locked down, I recommend getting a sturdy pair of tweezers and grabbing on either side and gently, ever so gently, rocking it straight upwards towards your face. And you'll know when you've pulled it up and unlocked it. Okay, with that being said, like, this is all loose, right? So all you're gonna do, you're gonna take your ribbon cable and you're gonna stick it down in this clip. Doesn't go down very far. You'll almost think that you haven't pushed it down far enough, but it'll bottom out and then hold it in place. You're gonna take your tweezers or your tool and you're gonna push down on the brown part of the clip. Okay, and then it's seated. Done with that. Now, don't expect like an immaculate fit if you're reusing your backplate.
Ready to rip.
Boom.
Loving it.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe.